Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday evening. Yeah, kind of late, a little later than usual for me, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Hope you all had a good day. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I'd have to say mine was decent. Yeah, it was really good actually. And I hope all of yours was too. We've got something interesting to talk about tonight. I wonder if when you saw the thumbnail, you kind of figured what it was, huh? Well, it's something we talked about quite a while ago. I think this case started maybe 7 months ago. Like, yeah, and it's been kind of a roller coaster. So I just want to say hey to Autistic Shield, hey Mousy Files. Always grateful, always good to see you. Thank you so much for the ordering, and the coffee. Coffee's needed. Yeah. Hey Rocky Couch, Fish Nerd. Why are you sitting in the back? Like, grab a seat, come up close. Um, Grace, I haven't seen her yet. I have not, you know, but she may be around soon. She doesn't usually miss months, but I'm sure if she did, something came up. But it's nice to see you here. Yeah. Okay. So on that, let's see. How many of you remember the name Ashley Guilford or Rebecca Schofield? Mm. And can any of you tell me how that ties into Idaho and Kohberger at all? Hey, you didn't know there was going to be a pop quiz, did you? Hey, Mrs. Cassandra. Grace was just looking for you. Mm, yeah. Hey, Garris. Nice to see you. How's my mic coming through, guys? Can you guys tell me? Can one of my mods, somebody just let me know that there's no background or hissing, anything like that? Hey, Barbara. Nice to see you. Mm. This is too much like school. Yeah. Pop quizzes and all. Yeah. Like that. Do I sound like the teacher? Hopefully your favorite teacher. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. My teachers didn't sound like this. They all had like really, really heavy accents. And most of them were gentlemen, you know, and they had wicked senses of humor and they just thought they were like smart and funny as all heck. Oh, we didn't say our subject lot. They tortured me. Hey, Mip. Hey, Juju. It's good to see you. I have a really heavy accent. Yeah. Is it weighing on you, Gary's? Does it weigh on you? Yeah. I'm also in a very weird mood. So look out, everybody. Hi, Janae. It's good to see you. All right. So since nobody answered my pop quiz, okay, you did answer me about my mic. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for that. But the tie-in is this, not only of the state of Idaho, but unfortunately the tie-in to what we're going to talk about today, the first case, is yes, Barbara, college professor versus crazy tarot reader. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Barbara steals the day. Thank you very much. Yes. During during the investigation of the Idaho murders, for unfortunately for the four students who tragically were murdered very young in their life, we all know that Bryan Kohberger has been arrested for that. We're going to get a little bit about his case at the end, but the one I want to talk about first is, and I'm just going to bring everybody up. I don't have a fancy slideshow or anything for you today because we're just going to talk some straight legal facts here. And it was kind of hard to keep it to keep my snark out of it and to keep it like because here we are. We're talking about a TikToker who solves crimes by using ESP candles and stuff in her whim and tarot cards. Okay. And Hmm. Well, today is a lesson in FAFO, or at least the start of her lesson in FAFO. Okay. Because, all right, on the far side there, we've got Ashley Guillard. Ashley Guillard in the red shirt is a TikToker. And lo and behold, in late November, early December, well, actually during November, right away after the murders, she started with a theory that Professor Rebecca Scofield from Idaho University, over there on the other side, on the far right, in the blue, um, was the murderer. Yes, that she conspired to have the students killed because she was having an affair with her teaching assistant or a student. We'll just call him JD. We're going to keep names out of this that aren't named outright as the defendant or the plaintiff in this one because this is hella messy. Okay. It's hella messy. I'll tell you. But here we go. Rebecca Scofield was slandered by Ashley Goldberg repeatedly. Okay. So come the murders in November, which we all know the media went crazy, right? We were all here last November when the murders happened. The investigation started. The media went nuts. Okay. And it wasn't very long until they kind of settled in on Kohberger, right? And the media was reporting. But does anybody recall the media reporting that Rebecca Schofield had anything to do with it? I don't. Okay. But this TikToker took to the platform every day, sometimes multiple times a day, to say a nasty plot that Rebecca had done, slandered her, talked about her having an affair with people, talking about her knowing the students and having all these ties, and actually acting like she had inside information. Okay. Even after it was discredited, okay, even after Rebecca Schofield was not to have any tie to the investigation, even after she was cleared of anything to do with it, even after it was shown that she didn't have any tie to these students, okay, this woman continued. Rebecca Schofield was horrified, horrified. Your life under a microscope like this, what a case like this, as horrific, the loss of the young lives. You remember how in the beginning, how terrified the campus was, how the town reacted, how everyone, it was horrible thinking that there was this murderer out there. And here was this TikToker, Ashley Guilford, shining a light on Rebecca Schofield with no evidence whatsoever. Nothing. Just her crime solving intuition. Mm, mm, mm. The cards told her. She lit a candle and it blew this way. So obviously, Rebecca Schofield is guilty. Obviously, she knew what no one else knew. She knew it in her crimes, crime solving abilities there, like that are so on par. Anyway, she actually went for Schofield Hall. Okay. She went for Schofield Hall. And Schofield was horrified. Just imagine. Can you imagine, everyone, what your life would be like if someone just decided you did something, came out on the airwaves on a platform? Now, let's say Schofield's got a platform. She's got a big platform. And people were listening to her. Okay. And they were going for Schofield. And it was spreading like wildfire, you know? I'm telling you. Uh, can you just imagine what that would be like? Okay? The audacity. Okay? You know, when I sit here and I do this show week after week, and sometimes a couple of times a week if everything's getting hot, and we do trials, live coverage, we speak about, the what's going on legally with them and the right and the wrong. But this isn't even a legal hella hot mess. This is a what the oh, what the woman? Really? Really? You're gonna mess with someone's life like this? Why? Why? Because you had an inkling. Tinkle, tinkle, dribble, dribble. Okay. Like, what the hell? Is that her brain leaking from her ear? Come on. Seriously. All for clicks and views. This is what is so wrong with the platform. I know I'm part of this true crime. I am. And I love it. And I know you guys love it too. But you must see the pitfalls of it. You have to see the actual horrors of it. And this is one of them. This is what people do. Now, we talked about Ryan Upchurch the other week. Do you know that his people are coming to me saying there is no lawsuit? I've got a case number. I can look it up on Pacer. It actually exists. So apparently the rest of the world is hoodwinked. Okay. And they know that when Ryan Upchurch says there's nothing to it, there's not even a law case and it's just all rumor, that they're going to believe it. But yeah, they're in my DMs telling me I'm totally wrong. You know, there are some of them, I will give them credit, that say that I'm at least being fair about it. Okay. And I'm trying to be. But this is what's wrong with true crime: clicks and views and destroying people's lives for what? Like, I don't care what underwear they wore. I don't care what neighborhood they lived in when they were 4 years old. I want the legal system to play out. It's true crime. I want justice. I want to see the system work. I want to see fair play. What I don't want to see is this Ashley Gilbert out there just like, reading tarot cards and ruining someone's life. Now, Rebecca Schofield, for her defense, is a very intelligent, mild, tried to keep it quiet. She was not out here, waving a sword at anybody to say this is wrong. Oh my God, how could you do that? She really quietly sent a couple of C&Ds, and I say a couple, yeah, more than one, because when Ashley Guilford got the first C&D, what Ashley did was take it to TikTok and make fun of it and say, "You can't quiet me. The truth will come out. The truth will win. I know what I know. I was told by the tarot cards, like, this is it. Like, I'm using the supernatural to solve this case. It is working because I've got the insight and they're all wrong." Okay, FAFO, Ashley, tarot cards, they don't like you, girl. They don't like you. Whatever that spirit whispering in your ears, solving those crimes and setting on your path to where the truth lies, is lying to you, boo. Setting you up. You must have pissed it off, because what you ended up with was a lawsuit. Okay. And a rightful one too. Now, the fact that Rebecca Schofield actually had to sue her to get her to be quiet, it's a shame. It's a crying shame, because common sense would rule. You get sued, okay? You're making your money on TikTok. Let's be clear. She not a millionaire, right? She not. She got money to burn, because that's what she doing now. Although not too much, because, okay, sit down. You're not going to believe this one. Yep. You know what? You're not going to believe this one, but Ashley Guilford, Guillard is actually defending herself. She's pro se. Yes, she didn't even get a lawyer. Okay, it gets better. It gets better. Yeah, Jujubee, I remember. Not that I wanted to watch her content, but I did go. Actually, somebody sent me a downloaded video of some of it, and I did see it that way. And the comments, her comment section was full of people saying, "Don't, please stop. It wasn't true." Exactly. The people that follow her had enough common sense to say, "You're going to get yourself in trouble like this. You're going to keep going." Okay. Mm. Anyway, it's Idaho, so I don't think we're going to, it's going to be iffy whether it gets we get to see it. It is civil. It is a civil lawsuit. It's for defamation, okay? But actually, Rebecca Schofield had to actually sue her to get her to stop. She would not stop, Brentland. Yeah, Janae, you remember that? She said, "I could prove it." After she got the C&D, she said, "I could prove what I'm saying is true." She backed it up by asking the spirits with a Ouija board. I kid you not. I, I kid you not. There's video evidence of it all out there. This trial is going to be hysterical. I feel terrible that Rebecca Schofield has to go through it. She won't, she would like it to settle. She just wants her to stop. Rebecca Schofield is not in it for the money. She's not in it like, for some righteous higher thing. She doesn't want to beat her down to a pulp or anything like that. She just wants the ridiculousness to stop. But this Ashley, she won't stop. Okay. And as evidence of that, let me continue with the story a little bit. Oh, it gets better. I wonder if you guys know what's been going on. Okay, so, well, there was the main complaint. Okay, yeah. I No, she actually did talk about the Ouija board in the spirits. She really did, Janae. Somebody sent me a clip. Yep. She actually did. You were being funny, but it's actually true. Somebody sent me a clip of her with a Ouija board thing. Now, I don't know if that one was actually a full TikTok video or not, but yep, they did send it, because I do recall seeing it because it made me crack up. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to see her bring Juju says, "I want to see her bring her cards, her cards and her crystal ball and her Ouija board to court and like put them up there on the witness stand. You think they'll speak for her?" Yeah. Anyway, I know I'm having too much fun. But I'm actually, I really feel bad for Rebecca Schofield. This is what's wrong with this the idea that you can just come out here with free speech and not a common sense fucking molecule between your ears and cause this kind of harm to people. Okay. And I think that that needs to stop. I think every state needs to have legislation that will hinder people from being absolutely ridiculous about this stuff. Yep, I'm all for it. I'm not usually for more regulation and more law on stuff, but I want better law. I want better law to protect Rebecca Schofield. Okay. I want better law to protect her. I want better law to protect the Rodini family and Robertson, the grandfather. That couldn't have happened, okay, if there was law that said, you know, FAFO people, you're going to speak on it, you better be able to prove it, okay? You better speak on it. You better be able to prove it, okay? Because this, like, let me put it, when did this, I mean, I know it's a thing, we've got controversies, we've got all this stuff, there's like a whole part of YouTube, that's how I feel about it today. You dupe is what is what it is to me today. The whole part of you dupe that actually is out there just selling shit, and you got to actually try to disprove it. Okay, when did that happen? Okay, when it used to be the other way around, or am I naive? I mean, I know I'm naive sometimes. I like to look at the world through rose-colored glasses and how I would like things to be, but this is crazy to me. Like, if you're going to say it, doesn't there have to be some truth? And isn't it on you to prove it since you're the one making the claim? Now, it is on Ashley Guillard to prove this, not Rebecca Schofield. She not the Rebecca Schofield is not the one out there making the claim. It is Guilford. Okay? Ashley needs to prove what she says is true. Because part of the defamation is, was it reasonable for you to believe this? Was there not evidence out there to say it was the opposite? And sure, there was. There was an investigation going on. There was mass media reporting. There was a suspect arrested. But still, Ashley went on and said it was Rebecca. Still slamming her day after day after day. Oh, wow, Grace, thank you so much. Well, for all of you that benefit from the gifted memberships, Grace, thank you so much for supporting me in the channel and me being hella ridiculous today. I appreciate it. And welcome to everyone who got a membership. If you are not already a member of my Discord, please contact me on any of my platforms with the Discord ID. Privately in either a DM on Twitter, Instagram, um, any way you want, or Discord itself, okay? And I'll get you in there so you can enjoy some of the back rooms on these legal cases and some of the games and all that we play. It is part of your membership. Thank you. All right, on that, and thanks, Grace. You just you caught me off guard, but I really appreciate it. I truly do. Okay. Now, for poor Rebecca Schofield having to sue to get her to be quiet, and she didn't. Actually, she used it to make even more money. Ashley, clever little minx that she is, said, wow, now we're in the big time. Now we could talk about this being a legal case, like she just came at me. So she starts defaming her even more, says that she wouldn't even be asking her to be quiet if there wasn't anything to it. She starts twisting everything even more, okay? To the audacity that when she filed for a motion to dismiss because of, freedom of speech, and she's got a right to say whatever she wants, and a judge goes, no, not if it's not true, and there seems to be a lot of stuff here that this case should go forward because you rightfully probably did know that it wasn't true. Well, Ashley got pissed. Ashley decided to cross-complain her for defamation, to say that Rebecca Schofield has some nerve saying she doesn't know what she's talking about when she's just telling the truth, and it's her right to put it out there. And she wouldn't be so upset about it if she wasn't guilty of the crime. Yep, I kid you not. I kid you not. I kid you not. She cross complained. Yeah, and that's why we're talking here. Now that happened a few months ago, and it was a minor blip. I rolled with laughter when I saw it. The audacity of it. My heart goes out to Rebecca Schofield. I am being a little biased on this because it's ridiculous, and I'm going to own it. I feel for Rebecca Schofield that she actually had to sue about this. That's what our system is like now. That this, clicks and views and just gonna make my bones on TikTok or wherever. I could say whatever I want, and it doesn't matter who I hurt, whose life I affect. Okay. A professional, a professor at college in the state, in the university where the murders happened. You don't think this affected her life? You don't think you did great damage bringing her into this case? This was malicious, dangerous, actually just nefarious. Is that enough issues and stuff? Like you get my drift? Like what? Really? Just like unbelievable that people can go this far. No freaking common sense whatsoever. I want people to have the right to voice their opinion. What you don't have is the right to destroy someone's life to line your pocketbook. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And that it is allowed is a crime. That it actually is going forward without legislation to prevent it is really getting to be a crime. More people need to speak up about it, okay? I think there is a line. I think I could speak about it, and it can seem a little hypocritical because I am in true crime, I do these streams. But tell me, am I going out of my way to hurt anybody here? We're talking about an actual law case, right? And Ashley did bring it, and Ashley did do what she said she did. What I'm saying she did, rather. There's TikTok evidence of it. I'm not speaking about anything that didn't happen. Okay, but that's a little bit different than what Ashley did. Or am I wrong? I mean, help me out here. There's a line, right? Oh, yeah, exactly. I am blatantly accusing Ashley of being like either just absolutely out of her rocker, okay, or just doesn't give a whatever. Because the facts were there and she ignored them. I am saying that. I think she blatantly ignored them, or she just hears voices, and that's a whole nother issue. hmm I mean, seriously, seriously. Always says some people just do not possess the necessary critical thinking skills or ability to rationalize the consequences when voicing their own opinions. Unfortunately, this is a sad truth all over these platforms and on every platform. It's not just YouTube. I'm with it, Twitch and Kick and every single platform. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, everywhere you go, Mastodon, social, whatever those other ones, everywhere. I agree, and it's a shame. But I do believe when you lack those skills and you're out there causing great harm, like this, you know, a professor who can't go to class, a professor who needs to take a leave, okay, harassed, you know, terrible. Yep, exactly, Carrie Ann. I'm just laying out the information here. I am putting great opinion on it. No one could listen to this and think that I don't have great opinion about what Ashley did or great feeling for what Rebecca's going for. It's very, very evident. And I understand that I am being that way, but I'm owning it. And I'm not trying to put anything out there that's not true. Oh, Mippy, thank you so much for those of you there, those of you in the chat who are receiving from gift membership. Mippet just put another 5 members. I just got 15 new members today. Thank you so much, Mippet and Grace. You're taking my breath away. But for those of you that actually benefited, again, please contact me. Discord IDs, Discord is part of your benefit. So get in touch with me. There's multiple ways, all on the back of the About channel. Okay, on the channel. All right. Exactly, Jujubee. Some of the things that she was saying, this one went really kind of crazy out of her way. It's so odd. She made a lot of leaps that I don't even know how to end this thought. Exactly. How did she get to Rebecca Schofield? Because she was a because she taught at the college and she taught a subject that was related. Okay, but she didn't know any of the students. Okay, I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Okay. Now you got Shill involved. Now Shill just gave 5 memberships to the channel. So now we have 20 memberships to the channel going on tonight. Okay. Thank you, Shill. Thank you so much. And again, to those that are benefiting from membership, everybody just get in touch with me for you get with your Discord IDs if you want to get in there to enjoy some of the back rooms on true crime and some of the other things that I do, and also for the games that we do. Well, that was great, Shill, Mippet, Grace. Okay, thank you. And for everybody else, I mean, there's only 21 people here in the chat. What the also, if you did not get picked, what YouTube does is randomly pick from the subscribers that are not members of the channel. So you didn't have to be here to get it. You did not have to be in the chat to actually get a membership. You may find out later when you come to my channel and notice you're green, or you might get a notification. I don't know. Can someone let me know that got a membership, whether you get a notification in your email from YouTube, so I can clarify how that happens on the other end? Because the wording is a little sketchy from what I read. I'm not sure if they do. All right. So, and Shill says, I'm not crying, you're crying. This is true, Shill. This is true. I know. Boo. 15 months. Wow. Yes. Wow. I've been monetized for 15 months. That's amazing. Wow. Now, that's like, okay, Mrs. Cassandra says you do get an email notification. For anyone who did, you probably got a gifted membership when you listen lately and find out, or come to the channel. Yep, gifted. Okay, great. All right. Wow, 15 and 14. I've been monetized that long, huh, ladies? Wow. Thank you. I never thought that would happen, actually. That's how long it's been since I did Johnny Depp, huh? Hmm. And we've been doing this ever since. Hmm. All right. You're trying, but not today. That's okay. You've been there before, and you've got a whole basement of your own, Mrs. Cassandra. You got nothing to worry about. You got nothing to worry about. You do. Yeah. Yep. She actually, yes, Juju's right in regards to when Ashley got the paperwork. She actually mocked. I do believe you're talking about Ashley here, right, Juju? That she got online and blatantly mocked the paperwork, and she kept going, doubling down again and again. Yes, she did. And she doubled down so much that she kept sending more than one cease and dismiss before she actually filed her lawsuit. Rebecca Schofield didn't want to sue her. She just wants it to stop. She wants her life back. She wants things to settle down, you know? Yep. Oh, thank you, Fish Nerd. Thank you. Okay, here it is. Oh, you called my banner sexy? Okay, thanks. That's very flattering. Thank you. And welcome to membership to Murder Minions, Janae. Thank you. It's nice. I do believe I have you in there, but if not, please send me the number. But I do believe you've been a member and you're still up there. I'll fix your roles and credentials. And woohoo! Member for 15 months again, always createful, and Mousy. You guys have been here. You guys are making me feel good. You've been here for quite a while, and it's kind of like a walk down memory lane to see all that green when it pops up with those messages. I did not realize it was so long. I didn't. Like I just do this every week, and just time just gets away from you, you know? Mm. Not sure about you, but I think my last membership just ended, so I'm probably at the end of line. Oh, it might be. I don't know how that works, but it is random, guys. It is. So I don't know how it does it, to tell you the truth. I still have you both on, and it may have just entered, that you're out for the day. New members, welcome to the Bear Club from Crazy Cat. So thank you for the bear and the roses, or no, balloons. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Crazy Cat. Okay, thanks. And it's good to see you. And Carrie Ann too. And for anybody else who I didn't get to say hi as they came in, I kind of got on a roll here with what we were talking about. So it's not that I don't know that you're there. I do, and I do appreciate it. I really do. Okay. So now, here we are. We know that Rebecca Schofield had to sue her to be quiet. We also know that Ashley, and I'm just going to use first names here now because, I keep mispronouncing the one last name anyway, so I might as well just stop. But here we go. Ashley didn't stop, did she? Those of you familiar with TikTok and the controversy that was going on, she just kept going. So we get the lawsuit, we get to the court, okay? Uh, Ashley decides to represent herself. Rebecca has a few decent lawyers. Okay, she's got Wendy Olson and there was another gentleman too. I'm trying to think of his name. It will come to me. I will be able to tell you. But Guillard is representing herself. Okay, Rebecca Schofield has two definite pretty decent attorneys. Okay, the judge in the case is Raymond Patrico. Um, I always like to give you the players. Like I said, I didn't prepare a big presentation today because I was just cracking. I was just, reading the documentation and just laughing my butt off. Okay. And what I don't want to do is just put up a big document, and everything too. But I am going to give you links and we're going to go over which ones you want. I think maybe you want the original complaint from Rebecca, right? And maybe you want the countersuit from Ashley, but I think the most important one is the one we're going to get to. Okay. Because after, Ashley decided to sue Rebecca, countersue her, she didn't just sue Rebecca. Okay. She sued all the lawyers in the firm that's representing her for, going against her freedom of speech and her right to actually tell the truth and causing her some problems. The audacity, right? Yeah, you heard right. Ashley sued Rebecca and her attorneys individually. And when she sued the attorneys individually, they all got subpoenas. Yeah. They're just doing their job, rightfully their job. Okay. Yep. Exactly, Mippet. Wow, this long and I'm still relatively sane. I haven't drove anybody crazy yet, Mippet, that I know of. If anything, you're all just joining me in the slightly insane shenanigans that go on. Yes, it's all in good. It's all in good. Yep. Hey, Charlie. Welcome. All right. So, anyway, Schofield, her attorneys, well, of course, they took exception to this, don't you think? Don't you think? Okay. So they filed two motions known as number 22 and number 25, which there was just recently last Friday a hearing on. Judge Patrico said he was going to actually, he read them all and he put, read the motions. He read the countersuit. He issued all the subpoenas that are necessary to tell everyone that they've been served, all of the individual attorneys, which is ridiculous. I think that, he was not too happy about the attorneys being named in the county. You're right, Barbara, and I don't blame him, right? I mean, Barbara, it sounds like you've been following this too. And was that not like a hot mess? Can you believe she went that far? This is the point where Ashley kind of needs to get an attorney of her own. Her representing herself, just like listening to the spirit voices on who actually did this crime, they're leading her astray. Like she needs to get a clue. Read the room, Ashley. They're setting you up. Those little spirit voices you've been listening to. I think you might have pissed them off because they're sending you down a road that's not going to really benefit you at all. Nope. Now, I think perhaps it may be that Ashley's just trying to keep her name out there in regards to this case. Maybe use this as an edge because, everybody's covering Kohberger. Everybody's covering the Idaho murders, the Moscow murders, the university students. Everybody's in it. The media, true crime everywhere. I mean, I must have done at least 5 or 6 mentions since last December. November, actually, when the case happened, in December, when the arrests and everything are going forward and investigations. So like, she's just keeping herself in there in a more unique, profitable way, so to speak. Like it's her hook or something. I don't know. But damn, the way she's ruining this person's life, it really rubbed me the wrong way. Hmm. Yeah, she better up her game or oracles. I think she needs a new spirit guide. I think her spirit guide is like got it in for her to tell you the truth, Juju. Like it's actually hilarious that she thinks like with all of this that it's going well. Well, she still does. Okay. But anyway, the one thing that I wanted to talk about mostly today, the reason I decided to mention this case today, is that in the filing of document 22 and 25 in the historical case record of Scofield versus Guillard, okay, um, they are a motion to squash, okay, which is the motion to squash those subpoenas, and also a motion to dismiss the case against Rebecca because Ashley has now filed a counterclaim. And yeah. And so it's got to be viable. You can't just file a counterclaim if there's nothing there. The they get to push back and file motions to say it's invalid or there's nothing there or not enough to go to court. Just like when you file a civil lawsuit and then the other side puts in a motion to dismiss it and puts the issues they think it shouldn't go through to a jury trial or through the court system. All the same. It's the same when you file the countersuit. And so they did file a rather nice documents that kind of proved that like Ashley don't know what she's talking about. Yo, judge. Basically, it was about 12 pages. First of all, her original complaint, you know that Rebecca Schofield only wants it to stop because she had multiple cases to bring against Ashley as far as how often she talked about this. And yet her complaint is only 12 pages long. They got right to the nuts and bolts of it. There's nothing there. She won't stop. We tried to get her to stop. We tried to handle this reasonably. She keeps going. We need intervention here. She until you slap her down, she's just going to keep going. And this is damaging to me. Okay. But it was really done tight, nice, neat, 12 pages. That's unheard of, right? That's unheard of, especially with the amount that Ashley was talking. Okay. 12 pages. They just took the cream of the crop, so to speak. Rebecca is not in this. She wants it to stop. She's not in this for any other reason but to get it to stop. Okay. And that was evident in the filing. So, filing 22 and 25, which was the squashing of the subpoenas and the naming of the attorneys, which I can't blame the judge for being pissed off. I would be really pissed off too. But um just so much extra work for the whole system. I will say this: there are certain judges and representatives in the system who really get annoyed when people use the system for this kind of ridiculousness and actually waste everyone's time, waste money, you know, just I mean, everybody has a right to defend themselves. I get it. Well, Ashley, the way she's going about this, she's making a mockery of the whole system and people are getting offended. Hey, Pete, nice to see you. Anyway, so in regards to the judge's ruling on those two motions, okay, he did a memorandum and decision on the orders for defendants' motion for relief from a judgment or order pursuant to, whatever, and defendants' motion to be granted access pursuant to the district, local position's motion for default judgment and motion to strike the plaintiff's motion to strike defendant's answer and all of that. Okay. Basically, what the judge said was, okay, well, this case arises out of a tragic murder of 4 University of Idaho students in November. Plaintiff Rebecca Schofield is a professor at the University of Idaho. No contest there. She alleges that despite never meeting the students or being involved with their murders in any way, defendant Ashley Guillard posted sensational TikTok videos falsely claiming that she had an inappropriate romantic affair with one of the victims and then ordered the murders. In turn, plaintiff brings 2 defamation claims against defendant, one premised upon false statements regarding plaintiff's involvement with the murders themselves, and the other premised upon false statements regarding plaintiff's romantic relationship with one of the murdered students. So there are 2 issues of defamation here. Not only that she was involved in the murders, but that she was having a romantic relationship with one of the murdered students. Okay. So Ashley is accusing Rebecca repeatedly on TikTok with multiple multiple segments of video videos, like a whole thing, making it more sensational every time, that she ordered the killings because of this relationship, which doesn't exist. Okay. Now, Schofield, of course, as a professor of the university, became under great scrutiny because of the allegations that she was having a romantic affair with a student. You know, to think that that did not disrupt her life, her professional career, is crazy. I mean, they don't like that kind of stuff, do they? I mean, what if she's going for tenure? What if she didn't even have it? I'd have to look that up. But that could affect her. Okay. Just the scandal of it, you know? I know you just want to jujube. It's so tempting, isn't it? Like I'm having a hard time keeping them out, the tarot jokes. I really am. I really, I am because truly, I'm laughing at how crazy this chick is. But there's really nothing funny about what poor Rebecca Schofield has to go through. Really, truly, So I want that clear. Like I really feel for her. I really do. Okay. All right. Relevant to the issue of the motions, okay? Plaintiff filed her complaint on December 21st. That is when Rebecca Schofield tried. 6 days later, Ashley was personally served in Texas. Okay. The defendant never responded to any of the complaints. Okay. And as a result, pursuant to rule, plaintiff moved for an entry of default of judgment on January 19th, which is Rebecca's right. She can now, because Ashley didn't respond to being sued and just kept on doing what she was doing and never even addressed the legal system, even though we know she had everything. She showed it all on TikTok, you know. Plaintiff is allowed to move for an entry of default of judgment. In other words, if I give you enough evidence to show that she's defaming me and it's not true and she's doing it on purpose and she doesn't come to defend herself, would you just like give me everything I'm asking for? Da 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 da. Yeah, that's what that is like. Yeah. It's like, well, if they don't want to bother to show up, can we just like get this done? Like, what do you think, Judge? Yeah, can I have a few mil? Shall we make her guilty? You know, kind of like that. Okay. So on February 16th, that defendant then, okay, a clerk's entry of default was then entered and mailed to the defendant on January 27th. And now we have Ashley's attention because she was found guilty of defamation and ordered to pay and to stop. Okay. Yeah. Judge went and ordered it. Okay. So lo and behold, Ashley, defending herself on February 16th, filed her motion to set aside that default. Apparently anticipating that the entry of default would be set aside, defendant then filed her answer, affirmative defense, and counterclaim, saying, I'm allowed to speak like this because I have evidence through the spirit world that this is true, and I'm just talking my truth. You know, just talking about my truth here. Just telling everybody what the spirits are telling me, what I think. I'm solving this case. I'm speaking my truth and I'm allowed to. She then goes and sues Rebecca Schofield and all the attorneys. Okay. Plaintiff responded the very next day, opposing defendant's effort to set aside the entry of default and filing a motion for default judgment pursuant to the rule. Plaintiff's motion to strike followed on February 27th. Each of the pending motions is ripe for the court's consideration and resolve below. And here we go. The judge had a field day. He did. Okay, so basically, here we are. Rebecca had to sue Ashley. She sent her C&Ds. Ashley wouldn't shut up. She then sues Ashley for defamation. Ashley ignores everything. Rebecca gets a default judgment from the court because Ashley never responded. So they said, well, you've got enough evidence here. It looks like she said it. There's the video. She did it. It's not true. You're not the suspect. You're not under arrest. You don't even know the person she says she had an affair with. Wow. Wow. Hmm. Thankfully, she is tenured always because it would be rough to get tenure with that rumor, wouldn't it? And she's a history department and also a chair. Thank you very much for the research. I appreciate it. Yeah, mocking. Yep. Mocking says she's gonna lose every dime she made of this weird clout grab. Not sure how a moron reading tarot cards and accusing random people of R and M gets 2.5 million likes these days. I don't know, because the world is insane, Mocking. This is why I'm covering, this is why I'm talking about this. The insanity that 2.5 million people watched and supported this crap. Like, come on, everyone. Come on. Like, we all need to start speaking loudly about that. Okay? You are part of the problem when you support this bullshit. Okay? You are. You're encouraging them. You're giving them the money that entices them to go on. We need to look at it as the big picture here. Okay? Everybody does like watching a train wreck. I get that, but you're supporting them. You're hurting somebody else, and you're going to have to take some responsibility for it. 2.5 million helped ruin Rebecca Scofield's reputation. 2.5 million of you. Yeah, all of us. All of us. We have to take some responsibility. I'm not leaving myself out of that. I'm not. But we all have to start looking at the big picture on how we are supporting, damaging other people that don't deserve it. Okay? You listening, Ryan Upchurch? Anyway, back to the judge, because you know I love the judge. Yeah. Yeah. No, listen. Yeah. So I'm just glad to see that so many of you know about this and are just like think it is just as ridiculous as I. Exactly. I'm not dabbling either, Grace, except for what I'm doing here, which is trying to get the message out about how it's wrong. I do think perhaps it'll be a little bit of good. I don't want anybody to go look up Ashley in her TikToks. I don't. I'm not sending anybody over there to harass her, talk to her, or even watch a single thing that she does. Let's let it play out in the court. That's what I'm saying. Like, uh-huh. And I didn't go watch the TikToks. People sent me downloaded copies of it, so I guess it wasn't of you. And that doesn't make me any better because I did watch it. Yes, I did. So I am not going to say I didn't contribute in some way. But I'm also going to do what I can to say that it's not right and to feel for Rebecca Schofield and to try to see that her justice is out here public and people know about it. Okay. So the defendant's motion to set aside the entry of default judgment in plaintiff's motion for default judgment. The court may set aside an entry of default for a good cause, and it may set aside a final default judgment under a certain rule. An entry of default is a technical formality. A plaintiff must merely show by affidavit or otherwise that a party against whom a judgment for affirmation relief is sought has failed to plead or otherwise defend, upon which showing that the clerk then just enters the judgment for whatever they asked. And that is what happened. Okay. Therefore, setting aside an entry of default under the same rule is simpler and more straightforward than setting aside a default judgment under a different rule. Okay. Um, in the context here, there is no interest in the finality of the judgment with which to contend. So they are demanding standards and only apply in seeking relief in a final judgment. I mean, remember, Rebecca Schofield just wanted all this to end. Whether to set aside the entry of a judgment is a matter of discretion, so the judge gets to choose whatever he wants on the circuit. He gets to decide which party in this time is more in the right. In determining whether good cause exists to set aside an entry of default, a court must consider three factors: whether the defendant engaged in culpable conduct that led to the default, like not coming to court and pleading. Okay, whether the defendant had no meritorious defense, or whether setting aside the entry of default would prejudice the opposing party. In other words, if he feels that Ashley has a good defense now that she's come forward, he could set it aside and not go forward with it. The defendant, as the party seeking relief from the entry of default, bears the burden of showing that these factors favor such relief. Crucially, however, judgment by default is a drastic step, appropriate only in extreme circumstances. A case should, whenever possible, be decided on its merits. In other words, it makes more sense to let both sides tell their story, and if they ask for a jury, let the jury decide. Or if not asking for a jury, let the judge decide. Okay, but let the legal system hear both sides of the case. Default judgment isn't exactly how courts like to do it. It's a time saver. Yes, if somebody just doesn't bother to come up and defend themselves, then yeah. And I absolutely kind of like I was kind of happy that the judgment, like when they did do the default judgment, because she's not going to show up and she's still making clicks and views on it. I wanted that judgment to shut her down. I wanted a court to tell her that she needed to stop or get arrested for being in violation of a court order. Contempt of court can get you in jail. And if you're in jail, it's pretty hard to do your TikTok. So we thought maybe Ashley would get a clue. Okay. Well, no, Ashley decided, oh, wow, they can do that? I didn't even show up. I thought, like, if I didn't show up, it just all went away. But no, oh, they can do that? Oh, I better plea. So she did, and she filed a counterclaim and blamed it all on everybody else, okay, for ruining her life. Not that she did anything, of course. Yeah. So good cause does exist to set aside the January default. Okay. There are two lines of cases within the Ninth Circuit regarding the standard for culpable conduct. Okay. But basically, here in this context, the term intentionally means that a movement cannot be treated as culpable simply for having made conscious choice not to answer. Rather, to treat a failure to answer as culpable. The movement must have acted with bad faith, such as an intention to take advantage of the opposing party, interfere with judicial decision making, or otherwise manipulate the legal process. On this side, this is the judge protecting Ashley's rights, believe it or not. And I kind of agree with it because her not showing up was bad for her, really bad for her. And you can't just say that she did that on purpose. Like she didn't understand, if she didn't understand the process to such an extent that there was going to be a false judgment, an automatic judgment against her. Like, if she comes forward now, should we give her a second chance to plead her side of the case? Probably, because we actually want justice. We want to know that what she did was what she did, okay, and get it out there, and not just say, okay, time frame, boom, you're out. And so, in this case, the judge is actually protecting her rights and also the future of the case, the appeal, okay, and the actual, preventing it from going to higher courts in the judgment, because by giving her the right to say her side of it is part of the process. When you deny her that right, there could be another appeal, and it kind of puts a whole slant on the whole thing. It kind of looks like you're trying to silence that side of the story a little bit. Now, I understand about time frames and all of that, and sometimes they have to do that, especially when people won't cooperate and are maliciously using the system to delay it by not responding. But that's what she's saying. That's not what happened here. She just didn't understand the full process. And now she wants to plead and counterclaim. And by bringing all that forward to the judge, she has represented herself as wanting to tell her side of the story and go forward with trial. Okay. So here, the judge has said that herein the defendant is representing herself pro se and is not a lawyer. So they want to give her the benefit of a doubt and reverse the default judgment and allow this to go forward. Okay. But by allowing it to go forward, allows the plaintiff, Rebecca Scofield, and her attorneys to address the by motions to squash and dismiss the counterclaims in whatever Ashley is saying. Okay, and that's where it was a couple of months ago, like within the last month or two. And now we're going to get down to the squash and everything. Okay. All right. They're saying that, even though she's representing herself, she does have the right to do so. Okay. She doesn't have to, conclusively establish the validity of any defense right now to have that judgment overturned. She just had to say she has one. And by making her filings, she did. Do you understand that? Like, the judge is not agreeing that what she said is reasonable defense, or that it merits weight in the court or anything. All he's saying is she has a defense. Therefore, it should go forward. She has presented one. She has a right to, period. Okay. All right. You don't want to actually prejudice the defense in any way, but at the same time, he's trying to also protect the plaintiff. Okay. To be prejudicial, the setting aside of an entry of default must actually hinder the plaintiff's ability to pursue her claim. He feels that what they have laid out perfectly protects their claim. They've got a great case to go forward, and they won't be held prejudicial by getting rid of the default judgment. In other words, it's not going to damage them anyway. They did it because she didn't respond. They didn't do it because the case was like a slam dunk and she didn't have a defense. She just didn't present one. Okay. So they don't feel when the needle swings from prejudicial towards defendant and plaintiff, this judge didn't feel that it was going to be that prejudicial against Rebecca to overturn that she would get her day in court, and she had a good case there. Okay. But the plaintiff has stated that she has suffered enough harm from her and deserves it to be over with. She just wanted it to be over. She did plead with them to overturn it, or to keep it there. She just wanted this to be over. That's all she's wanted. She expressed frustration over the defendant's disregard for procedure and deadlines. They pushed pretty hard on the judge in regards to that. Um, the plaintiff, doesn't actually explain how she would be hindered if the entry of default were set aside. In other words, what the judge is saying is the amount of harm that you have felt is still there, whether the judgment goes through or not. It's not worse because this, yes, the time frame and all, but we got to weigh it out with the system the way it's laid out. And although it seems a little unfair to Rebecca that she has to continue on with this law case when all she wants is for it to be over, we do have to have both sides of the law presented fairly, in other words, to get justice, don't we? I mean, that's what justice is. um as frustrating as that is, okay, when you can see what's going on here with the manipulation and, oh, my bad, oh, feel sorry for me, I just didn't step up, like, okay, well, now I'm here now, so let's just take care of these. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Ashley is being a bit manipulative. Either that or she's just dumb. I don't know. I hate to think anybody is like that unaware. But then again, she's listening to the voices, that are telling her all the wrong stuff. Anyway, having found that the defendant has not engaged in a culpable conduct that led to her default, in other words, she did stop towards the end. Okay. And now she wants to defend herself about her past actions. Okay. The judge didn't feel that setting aside it would be fair. So, you know, he reversed it. Accordingly, defendant's motion to set aside the entry of default, it was granted. Okay. All right. So, in other words, there's not going to be a default judgment right now. They reversed that in the clerk's office. Okay. Um. Now the plaintiff, following that entry of default, defendant filed her answer, affirmative defenses, and counterclaims, and then the plaintiff set in a motion to strike. Okay. Plaintiff moves to strike these pleadings as both ultimately and procedurally improper, because the clerk's entry of default had not been set aside when they actually were filed. That's all just a technicality that got all cleared up with the judge just setting aside that everything went forward. Okay. All right. They actually set aside the motion, and the plaintiff's default judgment is now going to be denied as moot because she's actually coming forward to defend herself. And you know that did end up to be mm, that did end up be a problem, but not for very long. Okay, because Judge Raymond Petrico did on this Tuesday actually dismiss with prejudice a lawsuit filed by Ashley Guillard, the social media personality from Texas. Can you believe that's what they're calling her? Instead of crazy tarot TikToker? Like, isn't that more accurate? But anyway, I digress. I guess they have to be polite. Well, anyway, Ashley, who accused Rebecca of being involved in last November's killing of the four University of Idaho students in Moscow, that judge actually denied Ashley's countersuit. Dismissed, tossed away, it's out. Okay? Yeah, done. All right. But as of July 19th, her defense The TikToker's defense, I kid you not, she stands behind everything she said. I kid you not. She is. Okay. She did with that counterclaim. Okay. Well, that counterclaim got dismissed. And along with it, okay, was actually the squashing of of the all of the subpoenas to the lawyers and everything. And he had a lot to say about that. Um, Let me just see if I can get the exact words because they were good. Okay, let's see. Mm, nope. Okay. Well, I'll pull it up. I have it here. Let me just drop these and then just pull up the words here because there was a statement. I do have it. It's a little blurry, so I don't think you're going to be able to read it, you know. But actually, this did go through. So pending before the court or plaintiff's motion to dismiss defendant's counterclaims, okay, and plaintiff's motion to squash the summonses for Wendy Olson, Elijah Walken, and Corey Caron, who are the attorneys, okay, having carefully considered the record and participation in the argument, the court grants both motions. Defendant's counterclaim is dismissed, and plaintiff's counsel in the summonses have for against the plaintiffs are officially squashed. Okay, just that just happened on the 8th, just a couple of days ago. Okay, now I think that that's the right thing to do. They just like boop 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 threw it all out. Yep, the outlook does not look so good. Okay, for Ashley when her actually defense, right? What she's calling going to be her defense is actually not so great. Okay. Um well, on that's where we are with that because it looks like Ashley is now the lawsuit is still going forward. We've got another hearing coming up. There's discovery, blah 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 blah. That's gonna. We don't. I don't have a trial date yet. I looked and looked and looked. I don't see a trial date, but they wouldn't have set one yet with all this squashing stuff going on and everything, and the countersuits back and forth, and with all these motions to dismiss because everyone was putting a motion to dismiss. I mean, Ashley doesn't want the case to go forward because she says she's telling the truth, and Rebecca Schofield wanted Ashley's countersuit dismissed because it was just ridiculous. The judge seemed to actually agree that the countersuit has no validity, and actually that the squash of the subpoenas and everything had to go because they have their right to defend Rebecca, and it's not part of the case. Okay, let me see what you guys have to say. I have very little to say on Bryan Kohberger. He's here because it's Idaho, and he's here because he's part of this. It's like he is the actual one under investigation. He's one charged for these murders, and yet Ashley still goes on with this. Bryan Kohberger is actually part of the case because, like, he is the one Ashley should have been talking about. Right? Huh, yeah. But does she have a fake live stream as an alibi? What? That she didn't do it? No, she got plenty of real ones that she did do it. She did do it. Rocket Couch, I guess. Okay. And Chris Lundy, hi Chris. Her defense is about as defensible as a serial killer that claims God told me to kill those people. Good luck with that one. Exactly. It's like she keeps saying it's the truth because her spirit guide told her. Yes. And I'm like, hmm. Okay. I hope the spirit guide has the money for the defense. For the defense, you know? Because like when the judgment does go through, civil cases are all about money and time. The streamer that did murder while playing a fake life. Yes, that one. Yeah, there was that. I thought you meant this one. I did read about that. That was absolutely insane. That was absolutely insane. They did try to fake that live stream as an alibi while they were out committing a murder. Well, let me just finish up with a little bit on Bryan Kohberger. The legal stuff that's going back and forth from the defense in the plaintiffs, the defense and the prosecution. This is a criminal case, not a civil case, so the terms change a little bit. Well, Bryan Kohberger as the defense and his attorney Ann Taylor, who I'm getting to be. At first, I was like, "Well, does she not understand what's going on here?" But now I'm starting to read her pleadings, and she's just doing and whatever she can for Bryan Kohberger to try to dismantle this case. And where we are right now is first she tried to say about improper grand jury selection and actually would taint the actual selection of the jury pool. And it's a whole bunch of legal jargon about back and forth on the process. But I will say this, she found one small thing and tried to turn it into a mountain. Well, that's what lawyers do. So on that end, she's doing some damn good lawyering. I will give her that. She's fighting tooth and nail for Bryan Kohberger and his rights. She keeps saying that Bryan wants to go forth with a speedy trial. Okay. At this point, I'm thinking Ann Taylor dozing. Okay. The way she's making these filings that take a lot to get through, I'm thinking no. Well, the other bone of contention she pulled up was the process in how they linked Bryan Kohberger to this case at all. DNA. How did they do that? Through genealogy, and then this and that and the other thing. And what happened? And why won't? Here's the thing: why won't the prosecution pull over that? Give us that process to look at. In discovery, she's demanding it. She says it's part of the case. She keeps pointing to it. They keep giving them pieces here and there, but not the whole thing. It's going back and forth with the judge. And now it's to the point where the judge is even saying, you know what? You're both just dragging stuff along. Knock it off. Come on. Prosecution, turn over to discovery. And stop with the little stuff, okay? Like, yeah, you got it. You got plenty of discovery to work with. Build your case. Bryan wants to go forward. Your client says he wants to go forward quickly. So let's just keep on track. We've got an October trial. October. The filings are flying back and forth and back and forth. Yep. The whittle stuff is the whittle stuff is yes, Peter. I'm talking about listen, DNA is no little thing, okay? This DNA, putting if that's his DNA, that spot on the sheath of the knife is his. Absolutely. Statistically, it says that it is. But if there's anything wrong in the process on how they got there, if that gets pulled, just speculating, just think about it for a second. If that gets pulled, what do they have? They have a car in the area. They've got cell phone pinging from towers, okay, in the area. They've got no connection to the victims. They have an ID of someone that could or could not be Bryan Kohberger. No definite ID, just that someone was in the house dressed in black and left. They've got a time frame. But what do they have that actually puts Bryan Kohberger there? So this is why it becomes such a big issue, the DNA, how they got it. And so prosecution scrambling over the process to have it not appear in a bad light, while the defense is going to look and just tear it apart and try to make it like that there's something wrong with how it was done. And that's where we are right now with Bryan. Now, Friday, there are motions, and the judge will be hearing the motions, and there will be a hearing on Friday in regards to where we're going to go forward with all of that to make sure that evidence, the discovery has been given to both sides, everything's in place, and trying to move this forward for, yes, I said October, Pete. It's October. He wants a speedy trial. So, and he's entitled to it. Well, he wants it done. Now, mass media is speculating on whether, Ann Taylor and Bryan Kohberger are on the same page, but that's all speculation. Ann Taylor has said nothing against Bryan Kohberger's desire to go forward. She's representing her client the best that she can, and she's saying so. So I don't know where that's coming from, except for that there might be looking at the amount of filings in stuff that has to be motioned on and that's going back and forth as to, her lawyering style that looks like it may delay it a little bit. but I think she just wants more and more to come forward. She has said about the amount of discovery that she got from the prosecution that it was so much to go through, but she's going to have to support her client. If her client wants to go forward quickly, they're going to have to just do the best that they can. Okay. And we're going to hope that that doesn't lead later to an overturn, that perhaps the wrong thing was done. I'm sure she's advising him of the risks of going forward so quickly. And it would be hard with what she's doing for him to prove bad counsel. I mean, she's really, really, you know, really pushing hard on everything that she can. Okay. She's well spoken. She seems to be quite clever and smart. For a public defender, I give her great credit into the time and effort that she's putting into this. This is a tough case. Okay. This is an emotionally charged situation, which is always dangerous for those on both sides, because when all that gets in, people aren't thinking, like, critically thinking in black and white the best that they can. Okay. Yeah, they had so much stuff. They dumped like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of scraps on them, you know. Mm. But anyway, that's the Kohberger part of this. And the reason I put him up there is because it is Idaho and it all ties together, because Ashley never spoke about Bryan Kohberger being like, she just totally dismissed the whole thing, the whole investigation. She knows the truth. She going after Rebecca Scofield, and she got herself in this hot water here. Well, what I want to ask you now is, do you think that they will just settle this, like in a plea with like a gag order on Ashley, perhaps, and to never mention Rebecca again? Would that be satisfactory? I mean, Rebecca just wants it to stop, or or if are we going to get millions out of somebody who doesn't have millions? Okay, and how do you feel about Ashley having to prove all the money she made on her and then turn it over since she ruined her life? Do you think that would be a deterrent for this type of activity that we see going on more and more in true crime? Look what just happened with the autopsy photos. I don't want to bring up a bad subject, but look at that. Look at that. Unnecessarily, that case was solved. Okay. And they were like putting that out there for money and actually re victimizing the family, disrespecting the victim. And look at what they did. Should they have to turn the money that they made over plus to the family to get it to stop? Should Ryan Upchurch have to turn over the money he made on his YouTube channel to the family for disrupting their lives, for the bad reviews, for the business being tanked, for their homes being invaded, for the pleading says they actually had to install high-tech security guards to keep people out. People who were so upset with them, thinking they were the murderers, that they did this. They were fakes. He actually said they weren't real people. He said the girl never died. She wasn't real. You know, if they're doing it for clicks and views, is taking it all away going to stop it? Or are they just going to go on to somebody else and make more and do it again? Hmm. Maybe losing their platform, you know? And we get into that. Like, where do they draw the lines on the platform? It's all convoluted. Would they stop me for speaking about it because, like, I could be saying that Ashley shouldn't be doing this, and that I really shouldn't be talking about Ashley at all, even though Ashley's causing great damage to Rebecca Schofield, and it is a legal case, and we're only talking about what's in the pleadings. Okay. But did he pay, Grace? Because as far as I know, they have to sue him, and he has put on record he will not even give them a dime, that he'll squander all his money before he'll turn it over to those families. He did get a judgment, but is the judgment enough? Because they actually have to pay it out, right? As far as Alex Jones is concerned, he doesn't want to pay any of that money out. The very day that judgment went through, he went live on his show, got more money, had people sending him in money, and guaranteed to them that the families of Sandy Hook victims would never see a dime of it. And he'd make sure of it. And yes, you can come at me, but he did say that. That's emblazoned in my mind. like a big chalkboard warning, like his words. I was so enraged at what he said. I hope they would. But in civil cases like this for monetary, how often do we do? Our penal system here in the United States is so messed up. There's not room for all the people that do this stuff. And then you've got a judge saying, am I supposed to put this on the backs of the taxpayers because this guy won't pay his bills? I'm supposed to give him free room and board? I think they should strip him. I think they need to actually, but here's the process. The ones awarded the money have to then file another suit and put out more money just to go get what they've already been awarded. And it goes on and on and on. When those families don't deserve the pain anymore, should they have to get lawyers to sue him to actually go forward with what the judge said he should do? But that's the process. Yep. Yep, and then you gotta get somebody mad enough about it in the legal system to actually do something to him. Mm. But I wish it was easier. I wish they could just toss you in jail. There used to be debtor's jail. Yeah. I agree, Barbara. New laws. That's why I was doing this one, because that's what I wanna advocate for. Everybody getting involved in, like, speaking up a little bit loudly in the type of true crime that we consume and whether or not we do damage. It is a dicey conversation. I understand. We're all involved, right? And I d- come off being slightly hypocritical about it all the time because, hey, I am just covering it. But I think there's a way to cover it and not do a lot of harm. I really do. I think most of legal law tube, most of a good portion of commentary is just on what we see. We do give opinion about it, but we give the facts on both sides. We let you make up your own mind. We're not out there telling us that the spirit world has a whole nother person guilty, a whole nother person responsible for the crime with no evidence in nothing. Okay. Um, I'm not into interfering in the investigation. I do know that there are channels out there that like to get into the nuts and bolts of it and actually try to solve the crime. And armchair detecting is a passion. We all do it. We all watch Discovery ID and things like that. I've done it myself. I love that stuff. But I don't want to actively get involved in any of that while the case is going on. Afterwards, yes. I mean, I did John Benet after the case is still active, and we're just looking at the stuff that they put out, but basically we're just looking at what they've all gathered. I didn't drive there and try to gather evidence myself. I didn't show up at the crime scene. I didn't harass anybody involved. I didn't call their works and try to call them anybody that was under suspect, try to like ruin their lives by saying they were guilty of something without the legal system saying it. Okay. Like, there are lines, is what I'm saying. And I know, I'm being a little bit preachy and I apologize, but actually I don't. It is exactly how I feel. I don't feel I should have to apologize for how I feel. It rubs me the wrong way. It turns my stomach. It puts a black mark on what I like to do. Makes me wonder. It makes me constantly question how far is right, And in a way that's a good way, a good thing that we double check ourselves constantly on whether we're causing damage to others by what we do. I don't think I am, but I will leave it up to you guys to make sure you tell me when I do. Mhm. Besides offending you with my preachiness today, I think I did okay. I think Ashley needs to check herself. I think FAFO, okay? She's entitled to the defense that she wants to bring. And we're entitled to point and laugh at the ridiculousness of it that the spirit world has told her she is right, and so the legal system should agree with her. I hope Rebecca Schofield gets justice. I feel that even justice in this is not going to solve all what she had to go through since November, being accused of something she had nothing to do with, affecting her life, messages, stuff in the media, students looking at her cross-eyed, whispers, gossip, rumors. Anyone who tells you that that doesn't affect you is crazy. They haven't been through it. I feel for her. I really do. And even winning this isn't going to make all that go away, but it will be some type of justice. Yeah. Some type of justice. Yep. Wait, do you believe in her abilities and her I don't appreciate it. I think it's borderline insanity, Juju. Are you talking about Ashley? Please, please tell me. Yeah. Um, I don't know if you're speaking on on Juju. If you're speaking on Ashley, I don't think that's self confidence. I think that's self delusion to actually think that it's okay. The delusion being that it's okay to put this forward without a scrap of evidence besides the voice from the other world. Okay, to ruin someone's life. Yeah. Mm. I don't. Yeah. It is insanity. Absolutely insanity and delusional. That's not self-confidence, that's self-delusion, okay? When you think that you're so right that you refuse to see everything in the real world speaking to the truth or what actually applies to the subject, okay? When you avoid the real world to let the other world speak for you, huh, that's not self-confidence. No, that's delusion, okay? And yeah, it's grandiose delusion. Absolutely, Carrion. Like there's something wrong with her. It's actually quite malicious to do it on purpose too. That I think she is doing it for the fame, the money. She got a nice hook on it. 2.5 million views. Marking's right, and he knows. He watches everything. Like if you want to know the statistics on it, like he knows. He knows. He'll look it right up. Like his this was absolutely blatantly abusive of our freedom to say opinion and to look at things. Okay. We have that. We're all advocates for free speech. Okay. Freedom of speech does not mean without consequence. And if you go out of your way with no evidence on belief to destroy another person, you should have hella to pay. And I am hoping that this case will play out appropriately for Rebecca. I'm sorry it's taking so long. We're going into a year now. I want this done for her. I want her to have her peace and her victory. Okay, but at the same time, I realize that the judge's order is correct when he says if she has a defense, she's allowed to bring it forward. Okay, it doesn't have to make sense to us. Okay, her defense doesn't even have to be an actual real defense. It doesn't have to sway anybody. Just the fact that she has one and wants to present it, she has the legal right to. Period. I'm glad he did that because it's going to be better for appeal later and for getting things overturned. Him following the law and making sure he's being as fair as he can on both sides, as ridiculous as we think it is right now, based on what the case is, and as ridiculous as we think, well, that's just a waste of time. It has to be that way in order for justice to be served. And I think that most of you, if not all of you, agree with that because you've followed quite a few of these cases with me and we always come to the same place. The process has to be done for it to be equal because for real justice to happen, we have to protect both sides during the process. Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Long time no see. I'm glad to see you here. I'm just about wrapping up. It's like the last 5 minutes, but thanks for being here. Yep. Liam said losing a remote in the Amazon is a surefire way to never see it again. Okay. All right. And okay. I don't know what that conversation is about, but it goes, it goes, it goes. It is true. Well, thank you all for being here. I'm going to look and see if anybody, I don't think there's much to actually question about this case. As soon as I find out when we're going to go to trial, if anything, I'm going to put this one on the roster. I also did promise you Leah Remini's Scientology lawsuit. And based on what's going on tomorrow, I will be doing George's indictment. Yes. Yeah. Quiz and I are going to be doing George's indictment 2 o'clock tomorrow. Right here. Oh, thank you, Pete. It was good to see you. And I saw you on something that wasn't murder. I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed. I miss you. I miss talking cases with you. Well, we're going to do Leah Remini. I'm thinking Friday. I don't know if any of my moderators or my channel members are streaming on Friday night, please let me know if you are. I don't want to conflict with anybody. Leah Remini is something I do want to cover. I'm thinking Friday night if you guys are free. But if not, yep. He is indicted, Grace. 41 charges. He along with 18 other people. And Grace, he's indicted under the RICO statute for actually conspiring a criminal endeavor to overturn the election. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow on what RICO actually means and how the case is going to go forward. No autistic shield. I'm not going to do the blind side. I haven't decided to do the blind side lawsuit yet. That's a good question. That really bothers me. He's now 37. They got the conservatorship when he was 18. They've been filing contracts for him and permissions all along. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know enough about it right now. I'm still researching. Um, I could tell you off the cuff what I think right away is that now that he's 37, there's somebody else behind the scenes that didn't get a contract that they wanted that is pushing him to believe that something really horrible happened. Because from everything that I saw, he's been treated fairly by the family. I don't know whether, yeah, there's the semantics of adoption versus conservatorship, but based on the age and all, I'm not sure that anything nefarious happened. And until I see some evidence of something nefarious happen, it's more likely that based on who all the players are, there's a third party involved in twisting this story for their own benefit. It really reeks to me. There's something wrong here, and I want to figure out what it is before I come forward with it. Does that make any sense? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If they actually did this to him, I'm going to talk about it. That would be like hella horrible. Okay. But I think I need more information. But it looks like okay, so Mrs. Cassandra Shenanigans is not doing anything on Friday. Does anybody know if Mousy is? Like I don't want to disturb her lives too. They're a lot of fun. Right? Always does it just like reek? Does it just like reek? It really does. It really does. Yeah. I just there's just something there that just doesn't sit right for me. Yeah. Well, yep, Grace. Tomorrow I can go over all of the indictment with you. I've got the whole case. Anybody that wants the indictment, I've got the whole thing annotated or not, however you like it, however you like to read your legal jargon if you do. It is almost 100 pages, though. I will warn you. And no, I'm not going to read 100 pages tomorrow. We're just going to bullet it for you. But there are 41 charges, and you need to know what they are. And I think more importantly, you need to know the landscape onto which these charges are being brought forward. Using the RICO Act in Georgia is a big hit on this case. It's different than any of the other indictments that are going on. And everyone was named. And there are also 30 unnamed cook contributors. Okay. 19 people charged, 30 unnamed. Wow. There's a lot of people involved in what happened. Okay. All right. Wednesday, I'm live at 9:45. I'm feeling better on Wednesday and Friday. Okay. So that's not a problem. I'll go earlier on Friday. If I go at 7 o'clock, that won't interfere, Mousy. So that's great. And it won't interfere tomorrow because I go in the afternoon on Wednesdays. I'm going to go at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. Oh, Wednesday and Sunday. Oh, so you're free Friday. Okay, so how about, can I go around 8 then, you guys? What do you think? 8, 9 o'clock, like now? That sounds okay, right? Yeah, cool. Georgia leading the way is the biggest surprise of the case. It kind of is, Liam. But as far as state legislature, they've actually got the groundwork, and they did have a lot going on. But if you go through Jack Smith's indictment on election interference, there were quite a few states named, and I'm wondering if those states are also going to come forward. You know. Mm-hmm. Okay, was that all? I'm trying to figure out if that was Sean or Always that had the spidey senses. Oh, it's Always. Yeah, my spidey senses were alerted so soon as I just heard about that. Oh, you're talking about the blindside case. Yes, my spidey senses. Yes, true. Just don't talk to your spirit's guide, or like we're gonna cut off communication. Like that's it. No tarot cards, no Ouija boards, no spirit guides. But spidey senses, that's cool. I mean, Spider Man, the coolest superhero. Well, anyway, um, Uh, it's gonna be horrible for all. Yeah, Sean, are you talking about the blind side or Georgia? Because both, it's gonna be horrible for everybody involved, both. Yep. I know that's kind of what makes it Rico, right? Aaron's reminding me like, "Yo, Claire, it's Rico." Of course there's a lot because it needs to be an enterprise, okay? What did you know that it only needs to be a handful of people or two events? And she's got 143 events in a whole lot of people. So it definitely qualifies for Rico this way. Well, we're going to go into more of that tomorrow and explain why Rico is so important into proving who did what, when, where, and how. Unfortunately, that might not even matter. Hmm. Yeah. Think about that tonight as we go forward. But thank you all. I'm going to finish now. If you don't have any other questions, thank you for tolerating my soapboxing on the Schofield case. And yeah, and how it does for all of us bring about the bigger issue that I hope we do all think about a little bit in the consumption of our true crime and what we do out here. All of us, just a little. I'm not trying to preach or too heavy. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and I do understand the hypocrisy of it. I do. But I think there's a better way to do it, and I would like to try to help craft that way a little bit better. Um, and that was my point. And also just how terrible I feel for Rebecca Schofield having to go through this at all. The crime itself was horrible that everybody in that state, everybody in that area, that college had to deal with. Then to be accused, can't even. Well, on that, we're going to switch over to the members one. We're going to put out our fantastic intro outro done by Mocking Media. I can't thank you enough, sir. Oh, that wonderful. I do love this one. Everybody have a great night. For those of you interested, I'll see you tomorrow for a political review, definitely on the Georgia indictment. I do believe Quiz is going to be there with me. It should be an interesting conversation. And like I tell everyone, bring your opinions, but leave your badass attitude and foul language off to the side when we do this, okay? We all will be respectful of each other's left, right, middle, orange, yellow, black, purple, green, whatever it will be. You can say it as long as it's respectful and it actually, you're making a point and not just a derogatory slander. Okay. On that, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night.